I wanted to actually discuss with you when it comes to even, transitioning, like, for three of us, your children.
Okay.
You know, we are, like we're very strong-willed. We believe in what we believe in. And, as you can see, you have children that are outside of the city, outside of the state.
Mhm.
Do you ever still feel like, man, I wish they would have stayed, or, like how, or are you kind of like, well, you know what, they're adults.
You know, uh, every parent will wish for their kids to be with them. But
Hmm.
one thing is we have to understand is that you are growing up, you are making progress by moving on.
Hmm.
After all, my parents, I'm not living with my mom and dad today. I mean, I've moved on ever since for a very long time.
Hmm.
So if we can leave home, if I can leave home, all of us left home. Everybody's married and we've gone different places. Hey, it is what it is. We're gonna have to come to that agreement that these kids are gonna have to move on.
Right. Even with what you're saying, because I'm sure you have peers that they just can't let go of their
Oh
children.
yes, I
You
do
know,
have. Oh yes,
with
definitely.
you experiencing what you experienced with three of us, because I'm saying this in general. People don't even know the details of how
Hmm.
we all did got into our own space,
Hmm.
but which it was work for us to even be where we are.
Hmm.
But with your experience, how do you, advise your peers on just allowing their kids to fly?
I mean, again, we have to all know, all my peers, I know some of us want to hold on to our kids so bad. We don't want them to move out. We have this idea, we have that idea. Oh, it's better off for you to be here till this happens, especially the young ladies. For one, back in the day, we want you to live at home till you get married. But it's not gonna be like that because a lot of you are professional people. How am I gonna want you to come and stay in one little room, subjected to one room to stay in there? You're not gonna be free. I mean, what makes you? You have to. You're a bird. You have to fly,
Hmm.
and that's one of the things we have to come to that agreement that these kids are. My son is all the way in California.
Hmm.
Daughter is in Dallas. You are the only one that live in Houston. So you're married, you're gone. So the point I'm making is that we still have to let our kids fly.
Right.
And for the right flying,
Mm.
they have to move. That's growing up. That's one of the growing up that we have to understand that the kids have to grow. They have to go.
Hmm.
You know,
No,
all
understood.
we need to do is pray for them and wish them well.
Yeah, understood. Speaking of prayer, I don't know why I thought about this, but like even like, of course three of us are believers. But did that ever did us when we went off to college,
Oh
were you
yeah,
ever
all of us.
afraid of us like losing our faith, or like because here's the thing, we grew up in church. We
Definitely.
grew up in church, three of us. But I think that us growing up in church, we were going for routine, and we were going because we had to, because you guys made us. We weren't going because we were like, oh my gosh, we are so on fire for God. We were going because you guys made us. And honestly, it was entertainment for us.
I agree.
But now, seeing that your children are believers and your children are, have this faith and things like that. Has it ever come across your mind that you were scared that we would lose our faith, or that we would kind of, look into other arenas?
But I've never lost. I have never seen you guys losing faith because I know the
Mm,
Bible is all of you guys are all. How am I going to put it in the Word? And I know you were taught that this is the way to God. Going to college, you're grown out there. We believe that what kept you from the house will still keep you out there. And that's that little bit belief that there's God out there. And I
mm.
do believe that I know a lot of kids who go to college and they will lose faith. That happens. But I never I had
I
I,
mean,
I never had doubts. I never had doubts.
there's so many things in college,
Oh
or
yeah.
just not even just in college, in places
Yes.
that will, because the thing is, I was sharing with a really good friend of mine yesterday that I think that with our generation, and then even the younger generation, is that we're looking for answers,
Yes,
and we're looking for
fast.
the right now.
Hmm.
So we'll dive into anything that will give us the answer or give us an opinion, and we'll roll with it because we believe that that's going to happen. But we not even realizing that, some things take time. There's
Yes.
going to be things that take time. And I think that if we didn't have our own persecution, we didn't have our own type of trials and things like that, we wouldn't have realized that, okay, this is time. You kind of have to think about it like, putting a seed in the ground. It's not gonna come from the ground tomorrow. But like I said, we are in a generation where we need the right now. We don't believe that things take time.
You know what I call that? Microwave generation.
Oh yeah, for
Microwave.
sure.
Now, let's put it 10 seconds. Let's go immediately. But we don't think that, a lot of times, the young people don't think that it takes time for something to manifest. Give it time. Work hard and give it time. Work hard, give it time. But everyone wants to be rich today, get it today. Oh, I've seen this person. Don't you know, you know the kind of car he's driving right now? He just showed me a Lamborghini. Oh, I'm going to try to make sure I'm going to outdo this person. But you never ask yourself, what did that person do to get that Lamborghini they're driving? Do we take time to think? Always remember, walk according to your pace. Sit down before you lean. But some people want to already start leaning before they start sitting there. And if you do that, you're going to fall.
You're going to fall down.
So always, everything has to take time. People work on things. It takes time. Just give it time. Have a little patience and wait.
I agree. It's a bit sometimes. It's. I understand also where the younger generation sometimes is coming from, because when you are working on something so much and so hard, and you're putting blood, sweat, and tears in something, and you're like, I don't have the return of investment.
Oh yeah.
What's the ROI? What's the result? And there's not a result yet. It's easy to fall into something that'll give you the quick fix.
Fast. Oh boy.
It's so easy. And a lot of times too that you don't know, like you may know with First Gen is that we saw our parents struggle. We've seen our parents suffer.
Oh yes.
And we don't want to suffer like that.
Exactly.
So we sometimes, whether we're making the right choices or the bad choices, we're thinking about the origin.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So and it doesn't make it right. It's not to justify why that should be right, But I do think that a lot of times we saw our parents struggle.
Oh, yes.
And we're like, we don't want that. Forgetting that life is still going to bring struggle. May not be financially, but you're going to struggle in something. So